Jason Chaffetz had a town hall in local Utah for once. It's been quite a while since I think he's done something like this, or like many people don't tend to do the town halls these days because of exactly what happened to him just this week. So he had a town hall this past week where he was met by a full house, and I mean a full house, and even more people.
Yeah, they had to stop
outside.
letting people in. Yeah.
Like 600 or 700 people, if not more, were waiting outside this high school that he was using.
No. I actually got the numbers. It was on NPR, so good source.
Yeah.
There was 1,000 people
Liberals.
inside, 1,700 people outside.
Man, that's insane. And they had to move it from they were going to have it in a city building, and they eventually decided to move it to the high school because it had a bigger auditorium. Oh, and boy, Jason came prepared for this, too, because when he got in front of the crowd of people, he had this chart made up for, this is what Obamacare looks like. He was going out there trying to, give the talking points that he was going to give. And
he was so ready for that. And if you noticed, he was trying to do the politician answers like, my mom, and like trying to do that emotional manipulation thing.
Yeah, I have a little bit about that one here in a second.
So, and like, you'd be like,
the crowd was not having it.
Yeah, the crowd was not, to say the least, was not letting him off for anything. So let's hear an example of some of the stuff that he was saying to the audience at the whole thing. And he was trolling. At a point, he finally realized that he was not going to win this crowd over. So this comes from The Hill, where he was talking in front of a flood of protesters during a town hall in his home state. Demonstrators repeatedly disrupted the House Oversight Committee chairman, challenging him over his treatment of President Trump. If you want to continue to look into Hillary Clinton, I don't care, said an attendee. But why aren't you checking out your own president?
Yep.
Honest question. And this lady had a hijab, and so that probably was another reason that he hated getting this question.
I know her name. Actually, I don't mind saying her name because
it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah, her name's Noor, and I know her.
Noor Ul Hassan was asking.
She's intense.
Chaffetz.
Noor is intense.
And so Chaffetz, being the asshole that he is, said, "You're really not going to like this part. The president, under the law, is exempt from conflict of interest laws."
There's such a technicality there. Yes, he's exempt from those specific laws, but he's not. His staff is not, and his staff works on his behalf, and he's not exempt from ethics rules.
And he has to follow the emolument laws that exist right now, where he can't accept money from foreign governments. But no, he gets to get away with that shit.
And he's also subject to abuse of power laws.
Yeah,
there is that, and then there's also the threats to national security.
And so Chaffetz was saying that he believed that the committee had 2 years worth of material on Clinton, but now he's facing added pressure to add the same level of scrutiny to Trump, and he's just not going to do it. And so the greatest thing that I saw watching the whole live stream were the people filing in, and they had the signs that said agree on one side and disagree on the other side. I thought that was great that a lot of the people that were there had that. And Chaffetz at one point said, "If you want me to answer your questions, you're going to have to give me more than 5 seconds to do it. I'm trying to be as best as a representative as I can."
No. The thing is, dude, we're not going to let you speak. We want answers. Not going to let you go on your stupid feel for me politician bullshit.
Yeah. Right. What he didn't anticipate was the fact that we are all now used to that.
Yes.
We know what it sounds like, and we are fucking sick of it.
Yep. And he went out in front of the crowd, and he's like, "So what do you think about Donald Trump?" He was riling up the crowd. He was getting boos from that. And he's like, "What about Mike Pence? You guys like Mike Pence?" And so he says on a fucking hot mic, "Mike Pence is one of the best human beings I've ever met," or something. He said something along those lines, and everybody was just like, "Are you fucking with us? Are you... what?" You could just hear the people in the crowd. Like,
Trey Gowdy is one of his best friends in the Senate.
Oh, man. Yeah, he ducked to Trey Gowdy at the very end there. And you want to look up a dumb motherfucker, that is one of your people to look up right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think Jason Chaffetz is stupid. I think that he is quite intelligent.
He's dishonest. That's the difference.
He's dishonest.
Very.
He's intensely dishonest.
I hate the man.
He is slimy. Everything he does is justifiable. 1, because it's not against his religion. And 2, because his religion is full of fucking lies, so it's fucking okay as, like, ends justify the means, motherfucker.
Well, except me, I learned that he is a convert to Mormonism. He wasn't brought up in it kind of thing. So the interesting thing is that he had something to say about Kellyanne Conway doing the whole Trump clothesline selling kind of thing that, with Ivanka Trump, where her line was not doing well at Nordstrom. We talked about it on the last episode. And he's like, yeah, she stepped over the line. And, okay, you're willing to say that, but the president...
when the woman does it? When the woman does it.
I mean, to be honest, she really was over the fucking line. She was.
She was. And
oh, goddamn you, autoplay. Hang on, sorry. Oh, man, sorry. Fucking terrible.
What did I do?
No,
what did I
do? My autoplay went off on fucking news story that came up, and I'm like, no, don't do that.
Okay. So, no, I mean, Kellyanne Conway was over the line. And Hillary Clinton's emails should have been investigated. Sorry, I'm having computer issues.
No, you're fine.
Hillary Clinton's emails should have been investigated. Luckily, or happily for me, those investigations resulted in she was careless. Yeah, nothing. Literally, nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
And that means that Hillary was paying the fuck attention. Maybe she shouldn't have done it, but she was paying the fuck attention.
Mm-hmm.
And Kellyanne did step over the line. It's just kind of fucking funny how Chaffetz only goes after the women.
It's amazing, isn't it? So
it's
you might be wondering,
kind of fucking interesting,
what we're talking about here. Jason Chaffetz is the chairman, which I don't know how he got to this position, of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee.
Yeah.
And when he thought that Hillary Clinton was going to be president, he could barely wait to start investigating her. I mean, he said in October, even before we get to day 1, we've got 2 years worth of material lined up. I think I've said that already. But now, since it's Trump's administration, he's willing to sit back and wait. He said, give it a few days for goodness sake. All of the flailing before he was even sworn in was a bit silly, if not purely immature. Said the guy that was going to go after Clinton. The guy that posted a selfie of him with Clinton saying the investigation continues. That's Jason in the House. So go look him up. He's on Twitter and
the
Instagram.
Investigation to somebody who is no longer a public servant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like how Huffington Post puts this. They
and
said,
I'm sorry, the House Oversight.
They call him Chaffetz, a fresh-faced, calmly spoken 49-year-old.
Committee right now has no. Oh fucking hell!
No, you can't call him
the
that.
The Oversight Committee has no business investigating a private citizen.
No, absolutely not.
None.
That's the problem right now.
None.
He was a place kicker for BYU in the late 80s. And
he did really well.
And according to this, was one of President Barack Obama's most outspoken critics. Yeah, no shit. Okay, so he won the Oversight Committee chairmanship in 2014 by promising aggressive investigations, but also a more bipartisan approach, which is not what we're seeing. And I would take Daryl Issa, who used to be the previous chair for this. I would take Daryl Issa over fucking Chaffetz any day of the week when it comes to this.
And Issa was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it's proven that Chaffetz can work better with Democrats, but he's just choosing not to now because their side owns everything.
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
Everything that I've seen so far doesn't sound like he feels much there is to be investigated, said the top Democrat, Elijah Cummings of Maryland. Before, he was saying he was waiting for him to get sworn in. Okay, he got sworn in. And then he said he was going to give him a chance to get his cabinet set. So we'll see. I don't like how people here on the Senate and in the House can just, bide their time. I don't like this shit at all.
This is what I keep going back and saying. Like, they're going to use Trump to get all the things that they wanted, this authoritarian control of people and government, to be able to control people, their voices, to shut down to try and shut down all objections. And then once Trump pushes it too far, they're going to impeach him. The Republicans are going to own the impeachment and say that they did it, and then they're going to run that on their re-election campaigns. I give it less than 2 years because they're going to need that for their re-election, because Trump's numbers keep going down at an alarming rate.
Yeah,
but they're still going to be able to pass all the things that they've wanted to do.
He hit majority dislike at 8 days. When it took most other presidents years to get there.
No, he swore in, and he didn't have a majority approve.
Yeah, he's never had the majority approval rate.
No,
and so Chaffetz,
which is unheard of.
When he was at the event this week, there were people outside of the place chanting, your last term, your last term. And they were inside, when he was not investigating. He's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Everybody stopped him dead in his fucking tracks and was chanting, do your job, do your job.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that whenever, we go to the local 4th of July parades and stuff that happen. And sometimes we're lucky enough to have our senators or our house people, visiting in these parades, because it's not one of the better ones. They just have good fireworks, so they usually show up for that one. And whenever they show up for this kind of thing, and I'm like, I'm the one asshole on the side of the road yelling at the guy as he's waving in his fucking PT Cruiser or whatever the fuck he's riding in. I'm like, do your job! Because at the time it was happening, it was because they weren't fucking letting Merrick Garland in, because I was just
right.
I was so incensed about that, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm still pissed about
we
that.
should be. Yeah, we have every right to be pissed about that. Everybody should be pissed about that.
Yeah.
I already called Orrin Hatch and Mike Lee saying I oppose Gorsuch.
Yeah.
On the ground, but he's an activist.
Now we get to call them. Yeah, now we can call them and say, how do you stand upright without a spine?
Yeah, no shit. Because they let Sessions through without any kind of problems. And most importantly, we didn't get to it in the news, but Betsy DeVos got brought in as well.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, Chaffetz was also like, so I heard you guys like Betsy DeVos, and there's just everybody nearly... I'm amazed that he did not get fucking rode out on a rail, tarred and feathered on the way out of Utah.
Oh, you know why? Because they were liberals, and they used their fucking words.
Mm-hmm.
And we use them angrily and loudly. And if anyone says that we were not polite enough, go fuck yourself. We need to be loud. We need to be heard.
Yeah.
Apparently on his way out, he said that this is the last time that he'll do a town hall outside of Provo ever again.
Oh,
and let me tell you, Jason,
little snowflake.
we're going to come to Provo too.
Yeah, we can make it to Provo, you motherfucker. Yeah. You're still our representative. We're still your constituents. We can make it to fucking Provo.
We know what we're doing now.
Uber out there, man.
We know what we're doing now. So it's just going to get even better.
We've come together. We've gotten over all of our petty little, I disagree with you on GMO bullshit. We've gotten over it.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, motherfucker.
And you know what?
We've had
a few years of watching how you guys have organized and run these things. Yeah. So, guess what? Guess whose tactics we're borrowing?
Yep. So, how about the little girl that came up to the stage to ask her question? And
was great.
It was about climate science and everything. She's like, "Do you believe in science? Because I do." And boy, he didn't even answer. Okay, here's the thing. Jason
didn't answer the question.
Jason ducked.
He did not answer that.
Jason ducked every question. And he did it by this method, and Felicia hinted at it earlier. He blueberried his way into a tangent every fucking time. For example, someone go ahead and ask me what...
Come on. No, blueberries is honest.
Blueberries are delightful.
Is where we go. Interesting thing over here. Blueberries are fun. No, what he did was he specifically manipulated people into trying to feel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an abusive relationship, you guys. He's going, oh no, misdirect. I'm not going to acknowledge what you're...
Yeah.
No, it's not gaslighting.
Not quite gaslighting.
No, it's not gaslighting. What he's doing is he's basically going, no, what I care about over here. Like he's disregarding your actual issue. He's changing the goalpost is what he's doing.
Yeah, so if someone were to ask me why I wanted to defund Planned Parenthood kind of thing, he gave a long story about his wife and about how his grandma and any woman who still wants to be part of his life. And then he takes it onto a tangent that doesn't actually cover anything of the question, but it has something to do with the line that he started talking about. He was hoping that,
they call it a pivot.
Yeah, when he was hoping that he can carry the conversation on what he was just saying, hopefully that you forgot the question. The thing is, we're not forgetting the questions anymore.
No, we give a fuck about these questions, motherfucker. Do you believe in science? And the answer is no. No, he doesn't.
Nope. He doesn't believe in climate science, so...
Nope.
Oh, he doesn't believe in vaccine science either, apparently.
I don't think he really knows what he believes. I don't think his convictions are that set in stone.
No, he's not been paid to be told what he believes in yet. That's the thing. Somebody comes along with enough money, he'll change his mind. Because Chaffetz is going to make a presidential run. I know he's going to do it.
Chaffetz, yeah, exactly. That Chaffetz wants power. That's all Chaffetz wants. And here's the thing, is there are people, and we can say this occurs on both sides of the aisle. There are people who only want power. Anthony Weiner, I'm looking at you. And there are those shitbags on both. But the thing is that on the left, because there has been a divide, there are people on the left who are social conservatives who now have nowhere to go but the left. What you're finding is the people who want to run on the left run because they give a fuck. The people on the right run because they want adoration and power. They want control. It's all. They have financial interest in keeping control.
Mark Zuckerberg, 2020.
So what you're seeing is, goddamn Mike Weinholz.
Zuckerberg Gates, 2020.
Like, if we're talking about billionaires that can run, I actually have no idea what Mike Weinholz's worth is at, but I know it's a lot.
How about Nye Tyson, 2020?
But the thing is, like, what you're seeing is people on the left, Misty Snow.
Yeah.
She talks about that she had nothing to lose.
Honestly, she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. And the thing is that we're seeing people on the left run because they give a fuck. People on the right are running because they want to control you.
And they want their ambition to be met with, adulation from people out there. Exactly. The only reason people get degrees in political science and become lawyers, I mean, not all people that become lawyers and stuff, is because they want to enter politics. And so when you have citizen politicians coming up out of fucking nowhere, like Misty Snow, Tammy Duckworth, you have a lot of these people that come up out of nowhere from the ground up. I mean, even John McCain came out of nowhere when he first ran.
Back in the day,
John McCain was a fucking firebrand, man. he was amazing when he first came into the scene. He's gotten a bit too comfortable in that. I mean, but the thing is, he's one of the few voices right now that's shitting on Trump consistently.
Yeah, he's not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah. No. I think McCain remembered. He finally remembered
backbone.
His backbone.
Yeah.
One of the few pieces of him that still works.
So the last little bit that we have here is that Chaffetz did cut his set 40 minutes early.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. He cut and
walked the fuck off. He just put the mic away and walked the fuck off. He couldn't handle it. And it was and he's like, you got to give me more than a second to answer. And then he'd continue into a story. And all people were saying is, answer the fucking question.
Like, we don't want your story. We want you to answer the goddamn question.
Right. We don't give a shit about your story, motherfucker. Answer the fucking question.
And
do your fucking job.
And the town hall hit Twitter, it hit Facebook, it hit pretty much everywhere. I mean, Politico was covering it, The Hill covered it, CNN, MSNBC, everywhere. Because we are known as one of the most conservative states in the nation. And we're treating one of our own this way,
but here's the thing. Here's why he doesn't want to do another town hall, because Salt Lake is it's the highest populace in the state. 2, it's the most diverse. We got a lot of people, one could call them refugees out of Katrina.
Yeah.
We got we get a lot of foreign exchange. We get a lot of
Somali. Yeah, we have a lot of Somali immigrants here.
We take a lot of Somali refugees. Salt Lake actually is growing in diversity. I'm not going to say it's terribly diverse.
And we're also a sanctuary city too, because
yeah.
We have a lot of foreign nationals that live here because we have a lot of agriculture nearby.
Honestly, we need them. Honestly, we need them. We need our immigrants here. We do.
And a long time ago, I used to be one of those kind of people like, oh, why do they got to have their own television station? Until I got enlightened,
Yeah. I was also one of those people who was like, people on food stamps are buying steaks. Ugh.
I still hear
Let
that
them
one
buy
too.
a fucking
Let them
steak
have a
every
steak.
once in a while.
It's
Let
good
them
for
have the fucking steak.
So
man.
to round out the Jason Chaffetz thing, what were you going to say, Felicia? I think you were going to try to finish your point.
My only point was that the reason he won't face us is, and he actually said, "Oh, these were people brought in to rile up the crowd." And
yeah. I was going to talk about this one.
Out of me because I knew the people there. Like I said, I didn't even read her name in the Salt Lake Tribune article. I saw her face and I knew her. Her name was Noor. And then I had two other friends who were there, one outside, one inside. I knew them, and I know how pissed they are. They didn't need anyone outside the state to rile them the fuck up.
And we weren't paid by George Soros.
Oh, yeah.
Salt Lake is pissed. Salt Lake is diverse. The reason that you want to go to Provo is because it's all white people. It's all white people who live in their own fucking bubble. There's far less people there. Salt Lake is much bigger, and we have to live with these things. And you're telling us we don't deserve it, and that's why we're angry, and that's why we're shouting. And if anyone tells us we need to be more polite, look, no one got hurt. Not a single human being got hurt.
Nobody got violent. There was a cop there that said, I love this. Violent. I love this. This is what democracy looks like. And he's like,
this is what democracy looks like.
Everybody is standing where they need to be. Everybody's peacefully protesting. Nobody's not listening to our orders. Nobody's throwing things. Nobody's breaking things. This is amazing. He's like, I love this. And so we as Utah, I mean, especially Salt Lake, we're polite. I mean, Utahns are polite as fuck.
I'm polite as fuck, and I wasn't even raised Mormon, but being polite is nice.
We're petty as fuck, but we're polite as fuck at the same time. So, I mean, okay, so let me get into the Jason Chaffetz thing because you brought it up. This is his response that came from the Deseret News of all fucking sources because nobody else would carry this rag of bullshit that he's trying to sell us here. He said that you could see it online a couple of days before, a concerted effort in part just to cause chaos. Democrats are in disbelief that they have nothing but flailing and screaming to deal with this. There was no flailing, there was no screaming. We were no platforming the asshole. Yeah.
Oh, there was lots of shouting.
There was shouting.
And so the newspaper actually, this is a fucking newspaper. I mean, it's owned by the LDS Church, so what the fuck do you expect from it?
Well,
but
it says it's a hack rag, really.
You know, it is a tabloid for a religious group is all it is. The relentless jeering at his and other recent congressional town halls across the country recall the Tea Party's reaction to President Obama. No.
Not even
close, because we actually have a platform. We actually care about people's well-being instead of,
Show me the woman in the hijab at the Tea Party thing.
Show me anybody of color.
Show me the teachers. Show me the teachers. Show me the Pacific Islanders. Show me, any person of color. Show me the women standing up and saying, I, and everybody is touched by sexual violence. And just because you don't know it doesn't mean you're not touched by it, because you know somebody who has.
So
and this is what I keep saying. Like, every single woman has a story. She does. And she said, tell me how you could do this. And his thing was like, well, you're not going to understand why I voted for Trump. And what she wanted was, why the fuck did you do it? Look me in my face and tell me how you could do this.
So
Sorry, I'm getting angry.
No, you're fine. The newspaper continues on asking a BYU Center for the Study of Elections and Democracy sees parallels with the Tea Party. I think there's a sense of unease and frustration about the Trump administration. Gee, do you fucking think so? I
mean, yeah.
This isn't a sense of an unease and
what
frustration.
Could you have given that clue?
And let's see, I'm not going to finish that quote. Tim Hagel, a University of Iowa political science professor and an active member of the GOP, so just wait till you hear this message. The fact that it's happening in Utah as well as a lot of places signals that there are a lot of people on the left who are still angry and energized. They're saying they want to be heard. That's how representative government works, you fucking asshole. You know?
Yeah.
If our elected officials don't know what our sentiment is on something, we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we are the majority. Let no one ever let you forget. 3 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. 3 million.
Not like 80,000 like with Bush. 3 million. You know, that's a lot.
3 million. Yeah. We are the majority.
It's a big margin.
Speaking. I know my conservative leaning boyfriend, who, by the way, I was talking earlier in the patron show about how I actually enjoy the discussion about the balance of government and the old school conservative concepts. I actually think those are valid conversations to have. That's my boyfriend, okay? He doesn't give a shit if you're gay. He does not give a fuck. He doesn't care if you're trans, whatever. It's not affecting him, so it's not scary because he knows who he is.
It doesn't bother him. That's the thing.
But he does have genuine conservative concerns about the powers of government and rights. He voted for Hillary. Not because he was her biggest fan.
Because she was the candidate to vote for.
because he actually said to me, does he even understand the Constitution?
No,
and I
said,
no.
Okay, so Jason Perry, the head of the University of Utah Hinckley Institute of Politics, said that politicians need to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I think for a while this is going to be the new norm. People inserting themselves in the process and demanding some accountability from elected officials. I would not say that there's reasons for Republicans right now to be concerned, but there are reasons for them to continue to listen. I think there are concerns for them right now. I think they should be concerned because they're surrounding Mitch McConnell's house reading the Coretta Scott King letter in front of his house, his own private residence, you know.
Nevertheless,
she
persisted.
Man, and so I'm trying to get to the part here where Chaffetz was essentially calling out that people were paid to be there.
Right. Oh, but that's not the only little bit of gaslighting that he did there.
Let's see.
And I don't know if you've seen it. The part about the pledge.
Let's see. I'm trying to get to it here. Let's see. I did hear them, but it was hard to hear through all the shouting and yelling, he claimed, during the Pledge of Allegiance. And that's who these people are. We're better than that. That's not what the average Utahn is like.
Yeah. You have no idea.
Face us.
People are asking me to use the power of Congress to do a full-on fishing expedition to investigate him personally on things that are not required by law. I think my doing that would be an abuse of power. You know, like all of those Benghazi investigations and the
like
email
investigating a private citizen? Wait, like investigating a private citizen?
I'll never satisfy their desire to bring down Donald Trump. I'll never satisfy that. It'll never be good enough. Yeah.
Apparently fucking not.
Let me see these tears rolling down my face because you're the head of a fucking committee. This is the job that you chose. It's like when I hear, and I don't mean to shit on my law enforcement officer friends and family out there, but the thing is, when you do the whole Blue Lives Matter and you do the flag with the blue line through it and everything, that is your choice of profession.
You can leave it at any time.
If it's too dangerous, you can stop. My friends that are black, they can't stop being black. My friends that are trans, they can't stop being trans. My friends that are gay, they can hide it, but that doesn't change who the fuck they are. It's like being atheist. I mean, it's all of these things that, you know, you can stop, you can pretend that you're not those things anymore, but you still are. The thing is, a lot of people that are black, they can't do that. Trans people can't do that because that's just, it's so disrespectful for people to, you know, I'm a law enforcement officer. We're Blue Lives Matter. Like,
There's no such thing as blue lives.
If that job is too hard, you can stop doing it. Hey, Chaffetz, if that job is too hard, if that becomes too much of a burden for you to do your fucking job, you can stop at any time. It's really fucking easy. You can
quit
step
jobs.
down. I quit.
Resigned.
I stopped working at Toys R Us after 1 day because I'm like, fuck this job. And I'm sure many other people out there have done the same thing where they're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go back there. I'm just going to go get my paycheck. You know, I would much rather be broke as fuck and just not have to do this anymore. Until I learn how to adult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched a guy kick a dog and I was out.
Like, fuck that. So, Chaffetz, you're a complete dickhole and Nobody, people were not paid to be there. I don't care what you say.
No, they were not.
Nobody was paid.
They were not. They were not paid to be. No one was paid to be there. And yeah, I don't think that article had the quote, but he was accusing people of booing the pledge.
Yeah, he said something about them making noise during the pledge. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, he said they were making noise. Yeah, he came out later, and they said that people were booing the pledge. And fortunately, there's video.
Yeah, and it's just not there. I don't know.
It's not there.
Gaslighting.
And there's surveys going around.
Yeah, I signed that survey.
I did the survey.
Hey, did you attend or did you watch? And were you paid to be there?
Yep.
So people are not letting him get away with this either. And the really sad part about this is this particular event has caused the GOP, the Republican National Committee, to reevaluate their town hall procedures
to the point where they're not going to have them anymore.
To the point where they are basically saying, "Don't do it." And also they're drumming up the they're drumming up the possibility of violence occurring toward them at these.
There was no violence. No one would have hurt him.
No, there's not.
No, it's just the story that they can sell. That's the thing.
Right. That's the story they're selling.
I guarantee
that's how they're moving forward.
That if Jason Chaffetz had walked out in front of that crowd, he would have not been harmed.
I can also guarantee you that there are a whole lot of people there that would have. They would have, but they would have found it difficult to restrain themselves because he pissed a lot of people off.
He was fucking offensive. He was disgusting. You know what? I was pissed. I was pissed. I was also like filled with this sense of like pride in the people who stood there and yelled at him.
Yeah.
But I was so angry with him. I am still angry with him. And I still wouldn't hit him. I wouldn't have hit him if I was there.
No.
And none of the people there would have hit him.
Yeah.
We're not the walk around with guns on our hips kind of people. We're not those folks.
That's just it. We are not those people. We're not the people who sit there and say, oh, it's okay. Boys will be boys. We're not those people. We're the ones saying, no, we will use our fucking words and we will use the fuck word.
Yes, we will.
And the most important thing is that we're saying we're not going to be quiet anymore. We're not going to be nice. We're no more Mr. Nice or Miss Nice liberal. You know,
and
none of it.
The parts that kill me about this is they're basically right now taking a page from the Trump book and accusing their opponents of
what they're doing,
things that they're doing or have done. And that was one of the things. That was one of the things that they did when the Tea Party took over. One of their tactics was to pay people and bus people into these town halls.
And they gave them all these nice, shiny, signs that they have. Meanwhile, all of the people protesting on the left have cardboard signs or dry erase boards and stuff.
Some of them can afford professionally made signs.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, no, it was called, it was astroturfing, where they actually went and we can document how they actually manufactured grassroots movements.
Right.
The thing is that those were never the majority. Those were lies. They were tricks from the beginning. Yeah. The thing is that we're not tricks. The largest protest in American history You can't AstroTurf that shit. You can't AstroTurf 2,700 Utahns showing up in Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. You can't AstroTurf that.
And flooding the fucking Capitol, which is amazing.
And speaking as somebody who has spent a good amount of time over the past couple years trying to get people to come out and show up at things and events, getting people in Utah and Salt Lake City to come and show up somewhere
in the middle of winter
is hard as fuck.